Hey, everybody. Hello, hello. I am coming to you live on the heels of the graduation ceremony from the fourth cohort of members of my Healthy Deviant U group, which was such a blast. And oh my gosh, kind of blows my mind, honestly, that this program, Healthy Deviant U, did not exist when I brought my book out in January of 2020. The Healthy Deviant came out and the entire book tour got shut down by COVID just a couple months later. And at that time, I honestly had no idea what was going to come of this work of love, the 5 years that I spent working on this book and the 25 years that I spent learning and experiencing the essence of what went into, ultimately became the book. Here's the amazing thing, though. What happened, while it was terrifying for me, ended up being the best possible thing, which is that I took the material and the wisdom and the love that went into the book, and I turned it into a series of online programs and experiences that became much more than online experiences. They became real life experiences, the best kind of all. So I'm doing a little Healthy Deviant update here, and I'm going to be doing a little bit of a Healthy Deviant Q&A because I've gotten some wonderful questions from folks who have been interested in learning more about Healthy Deviant U. Healthy Deviant U kicks off on Saturday, this coming Saturday, a week from today. And if you're interested in joining, you need to join earlier than that. You have to join by the 23rd. And you can find out more about it if you want to go and either learn more or register. You do that at healthydeviant.com/HDU. That is the page, which I'll be sharing some stuff from today for those of you who are interested and intrigued, because I want to make sure you know where you can get most of your basic questions answered. But I've had some people ask less than basic questions too about what to expect and what it feels like to be a member. And for those questions, I've invited a few of my current members from HDU to join me today. And some of them actually said yes at the very last minute. We literally got off of a live session maybe 10 minutes ago. And I said, hey, if there's anybody that's willing to just show up and answer a couple questions that maybe I can't answer, would you be willing? And a bunch of them said yes. So I'm very excited to have a few of my members, Healthy Deviant U members in the house today. One Laura, one Anna, and a little bit later, I think TJ and Anita may be joining us. These are all folks who have spent significant time inside the program and have their own stories to tell, their own experiences about what made them decide to join, what their experience has been like inside for real. And I'll be completely transparent. Like, people have spent a year or two and sometimes more in this program. They've had their ups and downs. Like, we have all gone through some serious stuff in the past couple of years, right? Like, this has not been the easiest couple of years on record. So we've all been, enduring the unendurable is what I say. Now, Healthy Deviant U, I'm really hoping, does more than make the unendurable more endurable. My goal is to help wake people up to the fact that the way that we are living is pretty crazy. And while we can't just exit it magically and just start something brand new, we can begin to turn the ship of our lives in a direction that is more sustainable, more regenerative, more rewarding, and ultimately more joyful. One of the principles of Healthy Deviance and the Healthy Deviant Manifesto is that we need to make it a party. And make it a party to me is shorthand for like, let us make healthy living a way of living that is so enjoyable, so welcoming, such a feel-good experience that like everybody wants to join the party. It doesn't mean that living this way is always a party, but it means that we can take the best parts of healthy living and make them more accessible to more people, and ultimately make it easier to stay on this track. The essence of Healthy Deviant U is that it's a 4-phase program that generally takes about a year to complete, but many people stay in longer than a year. Many people have been through this now twice or 3 times. The goal of the experience is to help you master the art of being healthy in an unhealthy world. So I want to make really clear up front, this is not your average diet and exercise regimen. I'm not going to boss you around and tell you how many reps and sets to do. I don't even care if you do a thing called exercise particularly. I'm going to give you some counsel on how you might begin adjusting things like nutrition and movement. and sleep and stress management, but it fits inside of a much bigger context, which is the world we're living in now. A world where 99% of people are not doing very well. 99% of people are not practicing the most basic healthy habits that would be required for them to stay healthy and happy on a regular basis. These are numbers based on CDC data. So I will share a little bit more of that data with you. The thing that I want to have understood, though, beyond the data and the facts and the figures, is like if you just check in with yourself and notice that you probably have been wanting to get healthier and happier for a long time, and you've probably been struggling, even if you've been making progress, you've been running up against the obstacles that are inherent in living in our unhealthy, unhappy culture. That is what Healthy Deviant U is designed to help you through. It's designed to help you master the skills of the healthy person, including a series of nonconformist competencies and renegade rituals that be kind of at the essence, the core of the experience. And then a bunch of new perspective shifts that make healthy living much easier to maintain and help you spare yourself the indignities and frustrations that have come along with that effort for me personally. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking through some of the structure of Healthy Deviant U and answering some of the most common questions that I get about Healthy Deviant U. But before I do that, I would love to welcome one or more of my current members into the stream. And I'm hoping that Laura will be willing to join us first. I got a nod from Laura. So Laura, thank you so much and welcome to my little live broadcast about Healthy Deviant U. How are you doing?
Hi, everybody. I'm good. I'm really good. The sun is out, so can't complain.
Yay for the sun. I see sun.
Yeah.
No. Laura, I'm really appreciate you taking time out of a very busy day. I know that you have a very challenging job and you have a very busy and full family life. I wonder if you could talk a little bit about the decision that you made to join Healthy Deviant U when you did, and why, in the scheme of all of the other things that you had going on, you decided to take this piece on as well.
Well, it was interesting listening to you because I realized I started it in the beginning of the pandemic. So I've been in this program for a while. And so it was a stressful time. I'm a teacher. So we went remote and my life was turned upside down. And this was just one of the things I felt like I needed something to keep me grounded. And this has been, it's been so helpful. I mean, it's just a journey that today wasn't a good day for me, but I have the tools that I didn't have before. So I feel like, okay, I'm going to take a break before, I know that, when we had left our meeting before, I did lay down actually. I took a little break, which is so important. And I've been doing that even at my job. I'll close my classroom door, turn the lights off, and I don't, that's my 15-20 minutes where I'm like, I need just to rest. So there's just the tools that have been very helpful. I'm still in preemptive repair. I feel like I'm just needing to reclaim my mojo still. So I'm doing a lot of that right now. These are all just a lot of the words that you're going to get. It's might be a little intimidating, but it really isn't. I mean, I have the book. So I have the book and, I use it. I go back to it. It's on my nightstand. It's just a lifestyle that is like what Pilar's saying. It's not where the stress of, oh my God, I have to do this workout or I have to eat the certain way or whatever. It's just being healthy and happy again. And I'm so grateful.
Laura, oh my gosh, thank you so much. It makes me feel like profoundly honored that even though I didn't exactly know what the program was going to be when I started it, the people who joined from the very beginning, like you did, it kind of felt like we all got into it together. Like we all knew we needed something to get through. But at the time, it seemed like that year. And now I think it's more just like, this is a way of living that is working better for me personally. And I can see it's working better for you. And you don't have to do it all at once. I think what you said is so smart that you said, I'm still in preemptive repair, which is phase 2 of Healthy Deviant U. Now, I've seen evidence of you doing other things, raising your game and being the change as well. But that piece of like, at this time, what I most need is to regenerate energy that's been lost, to regenerate vitality that's been lost by living in the unhealthy default reality of the society. And I see you doing that in these really powerful ways. I remember you described the difference that it made for you as a teacher to recognize that in order to be there for your students, to be there for your lessons in the afternoon, you really needed to take this break to recalibrate, to readjust your nervous system, to just process all the information and the stimulation that your system had been taking on in the classroom. And that you had to kind of explain that to your students that, I'm going to shut the door for just a little while and I'll be better when I come back. You'll like me better. I'll be a better teacher. You'll see. Oh, that'll be so great. Tell me a little bit about how you've been feeling as, your life has been going through, obviously, its own ups and downs. You mentioned you got kids and family and this job. How have you been feeling about returning to your healthy deviant practices when, you get off course or get thrown off whack or off balance or just pulled into the chaos of the moment? How are you finding your way back into the healthy deviant you experience or keeping it constant for yourself?
So in the beginning, I was very organized and I had my binder and I'm like, oh, I got to print everything and I got to do everything. And I decided I'm not going to do that anymore because it was stressing me out.
Yes.
And so what I love about this is that, I'm not exactly sure where I'm at. I know that I need to do preemptive repair. I know that I need to go back to just the renegade rituals. Like I'm trying to just stay grounded with right now. I need those tools because I am pretty exhausted.
Yes.
So just kind of knowing that there isn't this, you have to check this off the next box. I have to check this. I have to, I cross this off my list. I do that in my job and I don't want to do that here. So I'm tired of being a teacher so regimented. At the bell, we got to do this, and just everything is just so regimented. I barely can go to the bathroom even. So knowing that this is where I can let go, take a breath, and say to myself, what do I really need? What do I need? How am I going to be fulfilled? So that, I guess, just that, if that helps people, that you're not on the strict regimen. I let that go. And that was
I love that.
I will say there are times I was kind of a little feeling guilty, like, wait, where am I? Should I be doing something more? But, that's that bad voice that I said, just stop. And
good for you. Oh my gosh. First of all, I just thank you so much. And I saw some lovely notes in here from other members like TJ as with his partner Anita and Diana Carlson. Thank you guys for chiming in. And I'll send you a link. If you guys want to join live, you're welcome to. Diana, I know you've got a terrible connection. TJ and Anita, if you want to join live, feel free. When I'm finished talking with Laura, I'll bring you in too. But Laura, I think that one of the things that you said that's so important is like the ability to customize and take what you want or need from HDU and leave the pieces aside that you don't necessarily want or need. Actually, I'm going to share something on my screen and I'll come right back to you in just a moment, but stay with me for here a second, Laura.
Sure.
In Healthy Deviant U, one of the things that we talk about, this is just the page that is the one you can go to learn more about it. And I'll post that in the comments. It's actually, I think, running as a ticker. These game boards are something that Laura referenced, where one tool I give you that's an option is to check stuff off as you're going through the lessons. There are 24 lessons in HDU, 4 phases. Each lesson phase is about 12 weeks long. And with each lesson, there's an opportunity to do certain things. You can check off certain boxes, take on certain actions or experiments, and see how that works for you. Then you can earn the badges. I'll come back there. You can earn badges of completion, like the ones that I just showed you. And some people love this stuff. Some people live to check off boxes and collect badges, and they want to do it just a certain way, and they do all the actions. And then other people are like, I don't really need to do that. I'm just right now, I'm going to just take what comes. And if it's easy and I can let it float across my screen, great. That is absolutely okay. And in fact, the only real regular imperative or rule inside of Healthy Deviant U is like, don't do anything you don't want to do. Don't push yourself to do more exercises than feel good and energizing to you. And don't feel that you even need to keep up. Like, so many people have honestly been in HDU for 2 years, and they're like, I'm still really enjoying working on this morning minutes practice and thinking about, my amplified awareness. And that's great. You're doing it perfectly, as long as whatever you're doing is keeping you feeling better than you would be otherwise and more motivated to take care of yourself than you might otherwise. And I think you're winning at it. And I see you doing that. So congratulations. Well done.
I just want to add too that also just understanding, for me, it was the live sessions are very important. So even if you're not prepared, or, oh, I didn't catch up on the reading, oh, maybe I shouldn't attend the live session.
Yes.
It doesn't matter, because, even today I wasn't going to show up. I'm not feeling 100%, but I'm so grateful that I did. And I just kind of wanted to reiterate that has been so beneficial. So even if you're not up to speed with everything, it doesn't matter. Just try to make that a priority.
Oh, I love that. The live sessions are something that we do every other week in Healthy Deviant U. And I'm trying to think if there's an average percentage of people that show up for those. I think it really varies.
Mm-hmm.
Some people come all the time. Some people come only when they need help, which frankly, some of us need help more often than others. I'm there at every session, obviously, because I need help every week. It honestly gives me so much energy and positivity and hope to be surrounded by other people who are doing this work, that it feels like I get filled up by being in that group. And even when we talk about the stuff that's tough, it's like we recognize we're all in the same boat. Like, everybody is being asked to do more, to tolerate more, to accomplish more, to measure up more than we really possibly can. And I think that's something that I also really try to emphasize, is that we're the first generation in the history of humanity to be trying to live the way we're living. And I think when you get a group of people together, in a live session, whether or not people are sharing their own experience, you hear from other folks that are like, hey, I'm in this with you. And every week when I hear from people, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so humanizing. It's such a relief to realize we're not struggling on our own.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Laura, thank you so much for showing up, and thank you for staying and being a part of Healthy Deviant U and being such an inspiration. And thank you for being a great teacher. And I really hope, one of my dreams is to bring Healthy Deviant U, some version of that experience, into schools. I'd love to make it available both to teachers and administrators and to students, because I think some version of these practices and perspective shifts are pretty universally helpful. So maybe that's something, when life gets a little simpler, we can talk more about how that might be helpful.
Yeah.
In the meantime, yeah, take care of you. Like, put your own oxygen mask on first. That's wonderful. All right, well, we'll check back in and see how things are going for you soon in the next live session. And in the meantime, thanks for coming in here and being part of this. I
Happy to
appreciate
help.
it. All right, thanks. So that was lovely. And I'm really excited to have also TJ and Anita here. TJ and Anita have been, like Laura, they've been here from the beginning and have been members continuously since HDU started in 2020. They have also become wonderful cheerleaders for other folks in the group, and have, among other amazing talents, maybe I can get them to do the Healthy Deviants Wanted Credo, which somehow, I don't know how, they managed to commit to memory at some point. We'll see if they're up to the task or not. But before I bring them in live, I want to answer just a couple questions that came in over the transom. And hey to Diana, who I see is here. She's not live on screen because she's got a terrible connection on the internet. But Diana, who had noted when Laura was on that she also had started right before the pandemic, and that HDU got her through a lot of stress. Thank you for sharing that, Diana, and thank you for being in Healthy Deviant U. You too are an inspiration to me. It's been amazing seeing you go through some of the dramas and changes in your life and weather them with a lot more equanimity than I think you might have otherwise. So one of the questions that came up, and then I'm coming to you, Anita and TJ, had to do with the structure of Healthy Deviant U and do you need to be in it for a whole year or not? It's 4 phases. So I'm going to refer back to the page. This is when I talk about the page, it's this page, the healthydeviant.com/HDU. It's running as a little ticker across here. But let me share my screen for you and direct you, those of you who are interested in learning more about let me see, where is it? The Healthy Deviant U information page. This is the best place to learn more about the 4 phases of Healthy Deviant U. You can join for a phase at a time. So you don't have to join for a full year. Most of the people who come in do stay for a whole year. It's less expensive. You can do a single annual payment, or you can do quarterly payments. The quarterly structure, though, I would encourage you, if you're interested in learning more about that, to go to healthydeviant.com/HDU and look at this little syllabus here, this little mini syllabus on the right. It will show you how each phase leads into the next. So each phase, like Start Where You Are is the first phase, which teaches the nonconformist competency of amplified awareness. Phase 2, Reclaim Your Mojo, focuses on the nonconformist competency of preemptive repair. Phase 3, Raise Your Game, focuses on the nonconformist competency of continuous growth and learning. And then Be the Change focuses on the nonconformist competency, still a continuous growth and learning, but now applied to identity and community. And this is really about stepping into a more sustainable version of your own healthy deviance and learning how to master the art of being healthy in an unhealthy world in a way that you get to keep forever. So I also described, some folks have asked, what is in HDU? What do I get out of HDU? Again, I'd refer you to this page. Basically, the gist of it is every other week, there are new lessons that unlock, that are recorded lessons that have workbooks and videos and action plans and all kinds of cool tools and trackers and things that you can experiment with and report back on. And then in between, we have these live sessions, and Laura mentioned those. Those are sessions where you go in with me into a Zoom meeting room. So we're all available on screen and can talk and be in the same space. It's super personal. You can ask questions, get help, solving problems. And then in addition to those live sessions, we also have additional daily support available through our Healthy Deviant U members Facebook group. It's a private community. It's super not Facebooky. It's very friendly and warm and lovely. Additionally, I have a bunch of other interesting things that go on in Healthy Deviant U, like guest sessions, which I do with experts on different topics like healthy deviant eating, healthy deviant movement, healthy deviant decluttering. And I just try to bring in knowledge that people are saying that they want or need help with. So every time we do Healthy Deviant U, it's a little different, both because the live sessions are very different. There are also other components like hot seat coaching. And I'll talk with Anita and TJ a little bit about that. And Laura, too, if she wants to share, welcome her back as well, about what hot seat coaching sessions are like. Before we do that, though, that I would love to go to TJ and Anita and invite them into this lovely world. Hi, TJ and Anita.
Hi, Pilar.
Hi, Pilar.
Hi, how are you guys? Oh, I got my wrong view there. Hi.
Okay.
Welcome to this live stream, and thank you guys so much for showing up. I kind of previewed for folks that you guys have a party trick. If you guys, are you willing to do the Healthy Deviance Wanted credo? I'll just preview this by saying, inside my book, I have a little Help Wanted poster, and I stole this idea from Shackleton's adventure. He had a great want ad that at the beginning of the book, this little piece that says Healthy Deviance Wanted for Daring Adventure reads like a want ad, but are you guys still able to do it from memory?
Oh, sure.
We'll see.
Okay.
But in our second year of the HDU,
And
we did it every night. Now we do it not every day.
Let's see if we can do
but we do it. Okay, no
it.
excuses.
Shall we go? Shall we try?
Do it. Let's do it.
Healthy Deviants Wanted for Daring Adventure. Currently seeking bold, adventuresome, health-motivated individuals to buck deadly trends and disrupt unhealthy social norms. Must be willing to defy convention, question authority and absurdity, sidestep conformity, and master a wide variety of healthy person skills, including the art of illuminating the best within them. No experience necessary, training provided. Desire to explore and willingness to experiment helpful. Generous benefits package includes increased energy and resilience, radiant health and vitality, and a dramatically expanded sense of what's possible. Healthy Deviants Unite!
I love it. Oh my gosh, this is so great.
I gave myself bumps.
It's still, oh my God, just warms my heart. Warms my heart. So I am curious about what made you guys decide to commit that to memory. You didn't have to do that. I didn't pay you to do it. How come you decided you wanted to do that?
Well,
I think I remember back that it wasn't so much deciding to commit it to memory as deciding to test it out, because there's so many things that come down the pike that say, this is the answer, this is what you need, and so forth. Thank you. And there's so many, things that are out there grabbing for your attention. So we just would read it every day, and in applying the materials and reading and everything, one little thing at a time, we tested it out, and just reading it every day to see what we could expect from this program. It was actually a challenge to the program that made us do it every day and see if it worked. And every day it was working, and it still is for us. I mean,
I love that.
Me too, definitely.
Yeah.
So I did not know that. So this was basically you guys holding up the advertisement for Healthy Deviant U and seeing if it was delivering on the promise of Healthy Deviant U. So the Healthy Deviants Wanted for Daring Adventure was like, you guys responded to the ad.
Yes.
And then you held me accountable for the generous benefits package includes increased energy and resilience, radiant health and vitality, and a dramatically expanded sense of what's possible.
Yes, that's very true. And if you remember, our first hot seat coaching session together with you was, what does it mean?
Oh, yeah.
Tell us what it means.
One of the phrases
what was it
to bring out
illuminating the best within us. What does that?
What is that?
So we found out.
Well, and certainly, so, okay. And for anybody who hasn't, yes, this is the part of Healthy Deviants Wanted that said, must be willing to defy convention, question authority and absurdity, sidestep conformity, and master a wide variety of healthy person skills, including the art of illuminating the best within them. So this was the question that Anita and TJ came with in a hot seat coaching session was, what do you mean by illuminating the best within them? What does that mean, illuminating the best within somebody? And I was like, oh, I'm so glad you asked. And what it means to me, first of all, that's a really legitimate question. To me, it means first discovering and then elevating the best gifts that live within each of us individually and also collectively. But like individually, most people right now are living at such a repressed, suppressed, depressed state that their energy is low, their focus is low, their ability to respond to challenges is low, their ability to communicate is deteriorating because of stress. They don't necessarily have much self-esteem or self-confidence. They don't have a vision for themselves. They can't imagine what's possible for them. And I think we talk about the 4 phases of Healthy Deviant U. The first phase, which is start where you are, is focused on amplified awareness. Mm-hmm. And oftentimes the first awareness that people come to in Healthy Deviant U is that they're feeling kind of crappy. They've been feeling crappy for a long time, that they don't feel like they're illuminated in any way, shape, or form. They feel darkened by living in the society we're living in. And something that we've all shared, in our sessions with each other and in Healthy Deviant U is like where we've run up against experiences that have been traumatic, that have been, wounding to us, that have been depleting or diminishing, how that has become part of the baggage that most of us are carrying through our lives. But in phase 2 of Healthy Deviant U, we talk about reclaiming mojo through preemptive repair, and that the tricks, the tactics that we use for doing that often surprise people because they start feeling more like themselves. They like, I didn't know I had this energy available, or I didn't know that I could be in a good mood, or people are saying I'm laughing again, or I'm funny again. And I forgot how to be that way, but now I'm discovering that part of myself. And I think, one thing we talked a lot about, TJ, in our hot seat coaching session, I think the second one, where you sort of asked about like the kind of higher purpose, or like, why am I here? Like, what is the sort of fundamental reason? And finding those gifts that we're here to bring, finding the sense of purpose or values or mission or vision or whatever you want to call it, like what brings us joy and what the world needs or wants from us that is also joyful for us to give. That's that intersection where we illuminate the very best within us. And it's my personal feeling that while it's possible to be chronically ill, it's possible to be depressed or anxious and still give a lot of great gifts. We know a lot of people who are wounded healers, people who are artists who are struggling mightily and still continue to produce great art and help other people, caregivers, teachers, parents, partners. There's something different that happens, that I've seen happen with you guys, when you suddenly kind of come up above this line of just getting by and start thriving, that you discover gifts and capacities you didn't even know you had. And I've seen that happen in both of you. So maybe you can talk a little bit about how that has worked for either or both of you.
Well, it's hard to see what you don't know. It's hard to see what you don't see. And it reminds, again, of the Healthy Deviants Wanted is the very last line of it is a dramatically expanded sense of what's possible. And when we first came in, I could speak for myself. I wasn't sure what that was anymore. The shutdown was, our social distancing was just beginning. We didn't know where we were going. We had a new change in our own life personally. And it was, you don't even know, it's fuzzy. What does that mean anymore? And how can but this particular Healthy Deviants, the program, I'm not sure if that's the right word for it, but our involvement in it is asks us to start where we are. And where we are is like the best place to start. And that's where you're going to get to find out. Again, I'm getting goosebumps because it has that effect on me to know I am lifting off self-imposed limiting beliefs that I didn't even know I had. Yeah, yay. And there's a dramatically expanded sense of what's possible, and you make it very clear how you have visions, and you can only go a certain way distance with them, and then you find more and more, and it just keeps getting better. Yeah,
you're talking about this.
Yeah.
The vision to the current horizon, and then the next horizon.
The whole picture, that and it just keeps. And I don't know of anything else in my world that I can think of that just encourages things to keep getting better and better, and not work hard, but just be present and give it a chance with willingness, as opposed to trying to willpower your way into making things better, which I tried so often in my life. But willingness is a real tool, a very effective tool. So
I love that. Willpower versus willingness is one of the early distinctions we talk about in Healthy Deviant U. Yeah, that's one I know that Laura can relate to too. And TJ, I want to hear from you, but Laura, do you mind if I bring you into the conversation here too for just a moment? I'm just going to add you to the stream and we can all hang out in the same room together. It reminds me of one of our live sessions all of a sudden. TJ, would you talk a little bit about that too, kind of the crossing into a more illuminated sense or a next step vision for yourself? I mean, first, I want to just share, like, you guys are retired recently and choosing to kind of redesign your life in ways that work well for you individually and as a couple. And that's a really intense transition for a lot of folks. I feel like you guys have weathered that, or not weathered it, but like you've gone through it with this kind of unusual level of enthusiasm and excitement. And I feel like you've said like your friends are noticing and asking like, what are you doing differently? But with teaching, I know you've also, taken on some personal projects as a result of this newfound capacity. And I'd love for you to just talk a little bit about that.
Oh, sure. I would just say that I talked about it for many, many years, and little did I realize or know that after retiring from my 9 to 5 job and meeting you in 2020, January 2020, and then working HDU, playing to HDU, that I would be able to tell you right now that I am an author and I'm halfway through my first book. So that's pretty amazing to me. I'm not talking about it anymore. I'm doing it. And that's HDU, really is.
Oh, I love that. That's so great. There you go. Illuminating the best within you. Sometimes is discovering a newfound capacity to do something you've been wanting to do for years. And I think that goes back to the willpower versus willingness piece, and I think, and this kind of gets to you too, Laura, that like that recognition that just forcing yourself to do something is really just, that's not going to be helpful, because even if you manage to do the thing, if it comes out of your reserves and you no longer have your reserves, you're actually now at a serious, in a danger zone of having some little thing go wrong in your life and being flattened by it. And this has happened to me too. It's one of the reasons, like, I don't push people or drive people to do anything inside of Healthy Deviant U that's like looks real impressive from the outside. There's no call to like lose X amount of weight or lift certain amounts of weight or run a certain distance or enter a contest and win it. I don't give a fig for that stuff. What I care about is seeing people progress in the direction of their own highest choices over time. And that can take time. It doesn't often happen in 3 simple steps, or overnight or 10 days or whatever it is. Let me come back to you, Laura, and talk a little bit about what for you, as you've been moving through your own experience in Healthy Deviant U, what would you say are the things that you're noticing in terms of your own capacity or resilience, a change in something, whether it's illuminating the very best within you or just reminding you of the good in you as you've been going through difficult circumstances?
Well, I think when Anita and TJ were reading, I had my book out. So I was looking at the page and I was going back and rereading while you guys were reading. I'm so impressed by that, first of all. I think I'm going to try to memorize it. But it's the willingness for me and knowing. And so the job that I'm in, I'm not going anywhere. I'm a teacher and I'm near the end I've been there for 30 years. So it would be silly of me to leave. So my circumstances are, in some ways, I wish I could have left because of COVID. It was just dreadful. But I've created a new outlook on the whole situation. My willingness is, okay, I'm not going to fall apart in regards to not being able to change right now. And how can I change what's in my control? So taking those breaks, making that a priority. Finding joy. So that's what I'm working on right now, is finding the joy, just the interactions I'm having, the connections with the students. That's been very valuable. So I just kind of keep going to the things that are bringing me joy. And that, I guess, is what I'm holding on to the most with this program. And I know it's hard to say. I was trying to figure out, is it a program or a journey? I feel like maybe journey is good for me, because but program, I don't know, but yeah, I just feel like just being on this path it's given me confidence to know that I have what it takes. I have the energy. I'm not going to fall apart by some of the stuff that's happening. I just feel stronger mentally, physically, that's kind of where I'm at with everything. So.
That's beautiful. And I want to just contrast that to, well, first, let me say about the whole journey thing or program. I never know what to call it either. And it's an experience. I think that's kind of the best thing I've come. It's an ongoing practice, discovery and practice experience. And I describe it in terms of like a progress pathway. It ostensibly is kind of a membership, but it's a weird hybrid of a course experience, a year-long signature course with all of the attendant materials you'd expect, like short videos and workbooks and trackers and tools and invitations to little events and things like that. It's a membership in that it just keeps going and growing, and you can stay as long as you like. You can leave and come back if you want to. It's never the same twice, because every year is different people. Every year is different guest experts. Every year is different hot seat coaching sessions. The live sessions are different every single week. You just never know. But the purpose, the thrust of the thing is always the same, which is like, how do we meet our challenges of the moment in this unhealthy world that's making most people unhappy and unhealthy? How do we buck the trends that are making people sick? How do we beat the odds of being in this unhealthy culture? And how do we do it together while having fun and taking care of the things that matter to us? That's something that just to me is like, I don't know why nobody seems to be having done this before. I don't, if I could have done it before, I think that necessity is the mother of invention. And it feels like right now, it's like a lot of people need this, and we're all making it together. And you guys are helping me co-create it by telling me what you need and what you want. And so the progress pathway, as we're describing it, it's not a success path, it's a progress pathway. And the reason that I divided it into 4 chunks is it felt to me like, gestation periods, any kind of incubation period, like there's a process of growth and evolution where one set of structures or skills develops enough that the next stage of evolution can happen. And it doesn't make sense to me when you're trying to change your whole life to try to do it all at once or start from this place of heavy action. And my experience as a health journalist, I started Experience Life magazine in 2001, was that most of the competitive magazines and most of the conventional health and fitness media were pushing people into action. Like, just go do it, willpower your way through it, make these changes, stick with the program, in ways that were totally not sustainable and were really premature. People weren't even clear about why they were doing what they were doing or how they were going to fit it into their lives or manage to set boundaries and renegotiate their reality in ways that would allow this to happen. They were coming from a place of so much burnout and overwhelm that taking on one more challenge, like a diet or exercise or detox program, even a meditation program, often felt like a setup for failure. And trying and failing is depleting by its very nature. It's just not an energizing experience for most people. So building on small wins, the tiny steps work. I think that BJ Fogg and Stanford and other folks have figured out over the course of a lot of positive psychology research, smaller sustainable steps are the way to go. And so we in Healthy Deviant U have the 4 phases. Each one builds on the next. And you move when you're ready to move. You're not forced to move from stage 1 to stage 2 at any particular moment. That brings me to another question that I got about stages, phases. Oh, so the cost of the program it's on the sales page. So you can go check it out. If you go to healthydeviant.com/HDU, the prices vary depending on if you are a new or returning member. Returning members get a discount. It's typically about 25% if you're coming back for a second year or third year. There's some additional benefits and bonuses around that typically. But I try to keep it pretty consistent. And I don't discount it. Sometimes I add bonuses and things, but it ends up, give or take, being about $1,000 a year on average for most people. You can do it quarterly if you want to. It ends up costing a little bit more. I'm trying to be super transparent about the pricing. And it's mostly based on what I've found it takes to keep the program going. It's a relatively new program, but I think I've gotten feedback mostly that it's a really good value. And I guess the fact that people are staying feels good to me. If you have questions about that, you can let me know. But I think it's a really legitimate question. We live in a world where it seems like everybody would love to have you subscribe to something and just repeat charge you forever. I don't want folks to be inside of Healthy Deviant unless they feel like they're getting the value every week, every month. And, you know, in my best case scenario, what I'd love to see happen is to have more companies be willing to underwrite the cost of Healthy Deviant U for their employees, their team members. This is a project that I've termed Healthy Deviants at Work, and it's my uncorporate wellness initiative. But if you're interested in Healthy Deviant U and it's not something that feels like it's within reach for you personally, financially right now, I also want to acknowledge I'd love to see you take it to your team, your boss, your employer, and say, how about offering this in place of or in addition to some of the corporate wellness stuff we have that is maybe not working that great. And then the other thing is that for folks who can't currently afford this experience, I also want to be clear, I have a lot of other stuff. You know, I've got lots of free things, lots of very low cost things available, including things like my 14-day Healthy Deviant adventure, my 5-day Healthy Deviant Unchallenged, the book, which is available both for sale and at libraries. There's an audiobook version. There's a free preview of this. I've got 120 episodes of the podcast, The Living Experiment. If anybody's interested in checking that out, I'll put that in here too. Living Experiment is a podcast that I co-host with my friend Dallas Hartwig. And it is a great podcast that is based on a lot of these same principles. So I usually recommend my book and the podcast to folks that are like, I can't afford to spend any money at all. However, if you have ramped yourself up to a point where you want to take a next step, you just feel like you need more support, and you want to do it in the company of a bunch of really cool people, then Healthy Deviant U is a good thing. Any thoughts that you guys have? Any advice you'd give to somebody who was sort of thinking about this or on the line about what to think about? Maybe the process that you went through in deciding that you wanted to join? I'll do that to Laura or to TJ and Anita, either one.
I think that for me, I just felt like I deserved it. And I mean, I think about like, okay, yes, it was a little bit above my means, but I gave up some other things. So I don't go to a gym anymore. So, you know, there's certain things that I just sort of, okay, I'm just going to tweak what I'm doing with my life. So I deserved it, and I was okay with that. And that's kind of where I'm at. And I keep saying that it's part of, you know, my health is a priority for me. It's something I do value. And right now I see it as a necessity.
I love that. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Laura. That's an honor. And, you know, I wouldn't, here's the thing I will say about that. You're not the first person who told me that. Like, I just dropped my gym membership and decided to do this instead. And here's the two most common things I heard, because I wasn't going anyway. Like, I wasn't going to the gym. I had a gym membership, but I wasn't going. And then I was feeling guilty about it. And I've also heard people say that now that they have actually gone through Healthy Deviant U, they are doing either they've gone back to their gym or they're just doing things that are more active without feeling like they have to exercise the same way. Like, we've redefined what physical movement and pleasurable movement is. And people are taking ultradian rhythm breaks, for example, which is one of the renegade rituals, and using that to incorporate activity that is feeling good to them. And suddenly their bodies are changing in ways, you know, they're getting to yoga. Maybe they're just enjoying walking their dog, or they're just better in their body. They're eating better. They're sleeping better. Their metabolism is normalizing. So I've heard a bunch of folks, I mean, you guys have heard from some of the folks like Rosie or Liz, who've lost a significant amount of weight inside of Healthy Deviant U, or have changed their body composition in significant ways. And you know, I had somebody ask me like, well, how did they do that? How did they lose that weight in the program? What's their diet? Is there a keto thing? What's going on? I'm like, no. I mean, I give people some guidance around whole food nutrition that anybody would give you, probably mostly things that you already think you want to do. There's something more about self-regard and self-regulation and emphasizing willingness over willpower and rebuilding one's own sense of purpose that seems to work better than getting on a treadmill for 45 minutes or trying to do the circuit training workout when you're feeling broken down and exhausted and not motivated to do it. So I think that's great. Thank you for sharing that, Laura. And I'm really honored. Thank you. TJ, Anita, what about you guys? How have you guys made that decision?
Oh, did we?
Well, it helped me to think of it as a bona fide investment in myself. So that's pretty much what I hear Laura saying, that I just think that there's so many things that reverberate and resonate from it, that it's less on pills and less on doctor visits and other things, because there's a regard that we forget to have. I think it's in our society, kind of. It's like, buy this product to feel better or to be good enough or something. But instead of that, this is about me. It's about what's the best me, the optimal me. And that's different from TJ and Laura and you and everybody else. But we do what's optimal for us. So it isn't relying on an outside thing. It brings it home. And in that sense, it makes the experience of it make sense. The experience of doing this, it always brings something that makes sense.
Love that. Thank you. I like the way TJ just smiles and nods, like what she said.
I don't know what I said.
Well, what Laura said, what Anita said, perfect. I would say it's hard to. I mean, what I would add is, I remember back when we first started, I thought, I know that new processes take a while. I knew that from experience. I'm going to be 75 years old on Friday, and what more can I learn? Who knows? Well, I know a lot, and so I just made a commitment to myself and to the program and to the experiment, to the experience, whatever we're in, and I have never regretted it. I love it. It's I think it's way underpriced for what I get out of it. And I'm looking forward to many more years. So.
Oh my gosh. Thank you guys. This is beautiful. And I love the willingness to listen, hear, and simply try. And it's still working. I think that one thing I've said, and I'll wrap up on this because I know you guys have been hanging in with me for a lot of your Saturday now, but I think my biggest goal with reclaiming your mojo and raising your game and being the change, all of that, is to return ourselves to ourselves, to return each of us to the authentic self that we have available to us. And to me, maybe for some people that is about changing their body composition, and maybe for some people it is about writing the next great American novel or whatever it is. But we won't really know what's required of us to show up and be fully inhabiting the self that's available to us unless we take those early steps. And I think it is a journey, because I never know where you're going to end up, TJ or Anita or Laura. You find your way, and my goal is to help you achieve the goals that matter to you. One step at a time, one vision horizon at a time. We go together, we run into trouble, we figure it out together, and we just keep going. Hopefully this voyage never ends, and it just ends up with, like I said, my vision is hordes of healthy, happy, healthy deviants who are lit up, on mission, lighting up the world around them. And that's how I think we change the world for the better. That's how we take it to the streets and bring a whole bunch of people into this party that is known as Healthy Deviants. So in the meantime, I just want to say thank you to all of you for showing up and being part of that. And now I hope everyone will go and enjoy the rest of their beautiful day. And for folks who are interested in checking out Healthy Deviant U, please do that. I put that back on, healthydeviant.com/HDU. And a reminder that we close registration on the 23rd. We kick it off on the 25th, but you have to register in the next couple of days if you're interested. All right, everybody. Healthy Deviants Unite. Thank you so much for showing up and being part of the adventure. I'll see you all soon. So grateful. Bye.